Hands up, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have been docked.
On the ground. On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, I put them behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording allowed out here. I did not know. There's no recording allowed out here today.
Their cars have been set on fire. Molotov cocktails have been used. We have seen people throw bottles and hammers at them. We've also seen that they have been attacked and verbally spit on or punched or assaulted. And it's to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles.
The matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty, how they have been targeted, and how their families have been put in jeopardy.
Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security. Now you're listening to Todd Lyons. He's the acting ICE director. Basically, both of them defending having National Guard troops and the U.S. Marines in Los Angeles as these ICE raids carry out in the city. You also probably did see a moment, a little bit of a disruption. I'm still hearing this press conference in my ear. But moments ago, California Senator Alex Padilla, who's been totally against troops there on the ground in Los Angeles, he actually was inside that press conference and was protesting and was taken out of the room immediately. Our Selena Wang, White House correspondent, has been listening in. Also, our Jacqueline Lee is there on the ground in Los Angeles. But Selena, why don't we start with you? Because clearly the DHS secretary just not there in Los Angeles defending what's happening on the ground there. But these raids, as she pointed out, are going to continue all across the country. And we're also getting word of National Guard troops deploying in other parts of the United States. So it looks like this is going to be a part of the mission. And that is that National Guard troops will be assisting ICE as they carry out these immigration raids with no apologies.
That's exactly right. I mean, this was about defending their very aggressive deportation and immigration strategy. There was that moment you pointed out, if we can just show the footage there, which appeared to be Senator Alex Padilla, who was forcibly taken out of the room there as the president executes this very controversial strategy. But you heard Kristi Noem there sending out a warning message, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, saying that anyone who harms a law enforcement officer, saying that they would be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. She also praised law enforcement on the ground at the protests, as well as the Marines, the National Guard. But what was also notable is that also today, President Trump acknowledged that his aggressive immigration policy is harming some sectors, including the farming industry and the hospitality industry, both of which heavily rely on immigrants, including undocumented migrants. According to the Department of Agriculture, 42% of crop farm workers lacked legal status. I was earlier in the White House East Room where President Trump was giving a press conference, and he made comments about how they, quote, can't do this to the farming, to the leisure sector. He said that there would be an order soon on this, but unclear what that means. But this does come as ICE is ramping up their deportation. Sources tell us that the White House wants to get to 3,000 arrests a day.
All right. And as we saw also during this press conference, Senator Alex Padilla, I mean, from mayors to senators to members of Congress, clearly they've been out protesting these troops there on the streets. But this was the first time we actually saw one of the senators physically removed from a press conference there as the DHS secretary was speaking. Let's just take a look at that moment. And Jacqueline, I'll take it to you.
Thank you to every single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk specifically to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles. I also want to talk about specifically.
Guess you can't help the politics getting weaved into all of this as well, whether it's the protesters there on the ground. We're now seeing senators, members of Congress participate.
This is not okay. They are escalating. They're not going to stop. At U.S. senators or anyone. The man was simply asking a question. Not only should this not happen to a U.S. senator, it shouldn't happen to anyone who's in there asking a question. A legitimate question at that. They are really escalating this, and it's not going to end well for any of us. I would like to say they need to be stopped, which is pretty obvious. Who's going to do it? That's the problem we have. Who's going to stop these fascists? And we got these little mini security FBI people, if that's what they are, who are more than happy to consent to this, to go along with it, to be complicit. They should be ashamed of themselves. Why don't you just move to fucking Russia or, North Korea? Because it's pretty obvious to me, at least half this country wants to be under a dictator. They're fine with being under a dictator, as long as it's their dictator. It happens to be a bad one, an evil one. Take it from the rich, take it from the poor, give it to the rich. Not allowing any kind of dissent. It's what this country's supposed to be about. The Republicans, you forgotten the First Amendment? All you happy warmongers and guys who think they're on some kind of power trip, you just remember, they'll come for you too. Especially if you're any person of any kind of color. Like the little guy shoving out there. Don't worry, little dude. You think you're safe? All those Venezuelans and Cubans and everybody else who they tricked into voting for them thought they were safe too. But they came for them, and they came for them quick. They'll come for you too. People, we need to get ready. This is not good. You got any money? Yeah, you should probably go now. I had an extra couple million, I'd probably be in Portugal already. It's not good, people. It's not good at all. Thanks for watching. Be careful out there.